Raiders trying to turn around that franchise, and to look to their future, they are dipping into their past. You look at the former Raider players that are now coaching that squad and in the Hall of Fame: Willie Brown, Fred Biletnikoff, and of course the head coach Art Shell back for a second tour of duty as the head coach for the Raiders. And joining us now, thanks to the Coors Light video conferencing, is Art Shell, head coach of the Oakland Raiders, second time around. Art, Michael Huff, 7th overall selection, safety out of Texas. What made him the right fit for you in the first round?
Well, we felt that he was a very explosive young man that could run, that could tackle, makes a lot of plays, has a lot of range, and so we felt that this was the direction that we wanted to go in. While there were other good players on the board, we felt for our football team, this was the right choice.
You had a chance to go quarterback there, Art, with Matt Leinart. He was sitting there. I know that you guys had him in the week before the draft. So many people compared him, even Al Davis, to Ken Stabler. Why did you decide to go away from the quarterback position?
Well, as I said earlier, it's not necessarily going away from the quarterback position, but what we did what we thought was best for our football team. We needed some help in the secondary, and this kid was the best rated defensive back on the board, so we felt that that was the direction we needed to go, and we're happy with it.
In the offseason, you guys make the move to pick up Aaron Brooks, quarterback coming over from New Orleans Saints. What do you have to do to get the most out of Aaron Brooks from that position?
Well, we just got to bring him in here, and he's been here working with us, and we're looking forward to that. But Aaron brings a lot to the table for us. He brings experience, and he's won a lot of football games and thrown a lot of touchdowns. So we think that he'll come in, and he'll learn our system, and he'll do very well for us.
Certainly it would help if he had Randy Moss to throw it up to and go get it like he did in Minnesota. He was banged up a little bit, Art, in his first year with the Raiders. What will it take for Randy in Oakland to be the same player we saw him be in Minnesota with the Vikings?
Well, I think Randy's health is going to be a key issue, and I think he's healthy now, and he's looking forward to this year. Matter of fact, he came in today. He's working out, getting prepared for mini camp next weekend. So he's going to have a good year, and he's going to thrive in our system.
Nobody knows the Raider aura, the Raider mystique, the Raider tradition more than yourself, Art. You were part of those glory teams of the 70s. What do you try and do to bring back the luster to this once proud franchise?
Well, we have to learn how to win. We got to figure it out. We got to learn how to win, and we have to go out and work. It's not about talking about what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. It's about execution. Execution is what we have to get done. And our players have been working in the off season, and then I think things are coming along real well. But once we get our players to understand what it takes to win, and that starts with the off season.
You mentioned learning to win. Is that something that a player has within himself, or is it something a coaching staff can put in that player?
Well, I think coaches have to give them direction. The coaches are the leaders, and we have to show them the way.
Art, we appreciate the time, and best of luck in 2006.
Thank you very much.
Hall of Famer Art Shell, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt about it. The man knows how to win. The man knows what it takes to be committed to excellence. He was a part of it for so many years, guys, in the 70s, now in the Hall of Fame. But look, the Raiders are one of those franchises in the NFL. You say that name, non-football fans know what that means. Certainly. The Raiders. It's like the Niners, the Steelers, the Cowboys. They are one. Okay, they are one of the glory franchises that have won multiple Super Bowls in the NFL over an extended period of time, but they have fallen on hard times. How can they get that aura back?
Well, to me, it comes down to discipline, Trey. I mean, there was a time when the Oakland Raiders relied on the silver and black, and they went out and they signed every malcontent in the National Football League, and that was a badge of honor. Those type of philosophies is nothing more than a dunce cap if you're the Raiders. Ooh. If you think that's going to work, then you are sadly mistaken. This is consistently one of the most penalized teams in the National Football League year in and year out. In my 6 years with the Denver Broncos, we were 11-1
I knew
against the Oakland Raiders.
I knew that was coming.
11-1 against the Oakland Raiders, and we always said this: even as they're as talented as this football team is, they will shoot themselves in the foot by making mistake after mistake, and that's how we'll beat them, and it always works.
You know, I think one of the keys to be successful in this league is consistent leadership. And if you look at Art Shell, the last time he was coach, there's been 5 head coaches since that time, and it all starts at the top, at the very top, at ownership. When you have consistent leadership, you have a consistent head coach, you have consistent coordinators, a consistent system, you get the repeat. That is when you usually win in this league. I go back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers all the time. Until Tony Dungy came to Tampa Bay, that organization did not stabilize until they had consistency from Tony Dungy. And I always believe that's one of the key ingredients to be successful in this league.
What about players? You have to have players.
They've
Mystique,
had players.
coaching, all those things. You have to have players. I think they're going in the right direction. You know, Aaron Brooks had some outstanding games with New Orleans Saints. Unfortunately, he always did seem to have a couple clunker plays that we replayed 100 times on SportsCenter, but he has become a consistent, solid quarterback. You got Randy Moss. You have Jerry Porter. You have Lamont Jordan. I think there is the makings, the potential of an explosive offense in Oakland. Now, Tom Walsh, your new offensive coordinator, is going to have his work cut out for him. He hasn't coached it, I believe the number might be 12 years. To catch up to the game in that short of time is going to be tough.
Players, you got to have players, but you got to have players that care, that play hard, and that play a disciplined fashion of football.
Well, if they don't play discipline for Art Shell, there's a problem, because Art Shell will get in their face. He'll make sure it's done the right way. But this is a Raider organization, guys. Art Shell was not their first choice to try and become the head coach a second time. You could make a pretty convincing argument he should have been, but he was not. Can Art Shell bring it back?
Yes, yeah. And in fact, he won when he was there. It's kind of surprising he got fired the first time around. He was successful as head coach of the Raiders. I think by being away from the game and what Art was doing with the league office, you're at games all the time. You're seeing other coaches, see other teams operate, what they do to become successful. I'm sure Art has even learned more on how to be successful as a leader in the NFL.
But I think that all depends on how long's Art Shell going to be the head coach. If Art Shell's only the head coach for 2 years, Art Shell's probably not going to win. You have to give a guy time. You need more than 2 years. You need more than 3 years, especially the mess the Raiders have been through the last 3 or 4 years. He needs a 5-year window to get this thing turned around.
The Raiders need one thing, and I think they got it in Art Shell. They have to have a guy coaching them that the players respect, that the players know has authority, that the players understand the buck stops with Art Shell, and that they can't go over the top of Art Shell to Al Davis and to everybody else who controls that organization. I think Art Shell is a guy that's firm, he's a disciplinarian, and he will lead this football team, and I'm excited about that choice, and it should have been their first choice.
But that's an excellent observation, because we talked to Chris Mortensen about that on our SportsCenter draft specials leading up to this weekend, and he basically said Al Davis has given Art Shell the free rein to be that voice of authority.
We'll see.
We will see.
But that's been the problem.
The proof is in the pudding.
Thank you.
The proof is in the pudding. We'll find out if that's the case, and we'll find out if Michael Huff can be the playmaker they think he can be.
Michael Huff.
There goes the takeaway by Huff. He'll take it in.
You watching NFL draft on ESPN.